I don't know why, but my grandmother felt she needed to tell me that I was a product of incest.
Mothers lying to their children. So when I first got into interviewing victims of divorce rape, it actually amazed me how many children had been lied to about their fathers. So welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily. Fathers are judged harshly in today's society, and all we hear about is how fathers aren't needed. They are deadbeats. When they are in the house, women complain that he doesn't do enough. He's like having another child, blah, blah, blah. This is a smokescreen to keep society from pointing out the shortcomings of mothers. Starting in Generation X, mothers have gotten worse and worse. There are women that put their own interests above their community, their husbands, and their families. These women lied and gaslit their way through life without caring about the consequences and outcomes of their actions. It's only when you are an adult that you realize how much your mother lied to you and gaslit you. Your mother lied about who your father was, the kind of man he was, how much he contributed to the house, and the sacrifices he made as a father. Your mother lied to you about her contributions to the family, pointing herself as some kind of supermom that held the fabric of the universe together. Your mother lied to you about her virtue and her purity. She lied to you about her career accomplishments and took credit for things she didn't even do. These are the type of things that your mother lied about and told you when you were young and you believed them. It's a good day and a bad day when you figure out how much of a liar your mother was. It's good because you can finally see her for the horrible person that she is, and it's bad because your perfect image of her is gone forever. You also start to regret some of the things you did when you were little because of her lies, and you wonder how different your life would have been with the information that you had back then. So we're going to look at some X posts about this. The myth that mothers possess an inherent protective instinct to shield their children from harm is a patriarchal fabrication, a lie that crumbles under scrutiny, especially when considering the treatment of daughters. In reality, mothers perpetuate the very misogyny that enslaves them, grooming their female children into a lifetime of suffering and subjugation. I asked my own mother about her severe phobia of blood, and she recounted her 4 C-sections in excruciating detail. She described the complete paralysis she felt after each surgery, the lasting health problems they caused, and the psychological trauma she endured. Yet despite this litany of horror, she concluded with a chilling, "You will understand all of this when you get pregnant." Mothers are as protecting and nurturing as a farmer preparing his livestock for slaughter. They ensure that their daughters inherit the same suffering and abuse they endured. This is not protection, it is a transmission of torture to maintain the dominance of men. Many of you have a problem. Okay, so that's the one. The next we're going to go through. As most of you know, I have been fighting on the front lines of the simp epidemic for years, but I need to tell you about a quiet weapon being ratcheted up against men that is rarely talked about. It's not just the relentless anti-masculinity propaganda and OnlyFans hoes causing the societal issues that we discuss on this show. Did you know that the average city's tap water contains trace pharmaceuticals and endocrine disruptors? This often includes estrogen from birth control. The average adult consumes a credit card worth of plastic every single week. That's 5 grams of plastic a week on average. So it's no wonder that the average male's testosterone is half of what the average was 50 years ago. Testosterone levels decline 1% a year, and without a course correction, we are headed towards extinction. No matter how based you are, you need to be naturally boosting your testosterone. My friends at Chalk, CHOQ.com, are on a mission to save mankind from extinction by boosting your vitality. Chalk's Male Vitality Stack contains premium and potent herbs clinically studied to naturally boost your testosterone levels, sperm count, and overall vitality. Just one of the many ingredients in the Male Vitality Stack was studied in double-blind human clinical trials to boost total testosterone 20% in 90 days. When you boost your testosterone, you'll have more mental clarity, you're more capable of making decisions and taking risks. Having high testosterone will also affect your pheromones, so women will find you more attractive subconsciously. Get the Chalk Male Vitality Stack right now on Chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. Use my name Pearl as your coupon code and you'll get 25% off site-wide on Chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. My name Pearl is the discount code. is my mom made me believe I'm actually a useless human being because everything I do for her is not good enough, so I stopped doing anything at all. Every single day, she always reminds me of the stuff I didn't do instead of praising me for the stuff I did do. I'm tired. And by the way, guys, I understand there are good mothers. This is not the show for that, so please do not call in and tell me that wasn't your experience. This was not the call-in show for you. I hate it. Well, we're doing a call-in show about a specific topic, and they're like, well, that wasn't my experience. Like, well, then why are you here? Sorry. Thank you, Gabriel, for the $2 super chat. That's why I wanted to impress someone, hoping they'd recognize my effort. I just wish my parents would recognize my effort, but they always pressure me 24/7 because I'm not doing enough in life. They can't use my depression as an excuse. I'm just useless. Mothers used to get away with this all the time, but now social media is giving sons and daughters an outlet to share the lies that their mothers told them. This is going to be a call-in show, and I want you to share, what was the worst lie your mother ever told you? How did you find out it was a lie? And what happened when you confronted your mother about the lie?
Hi, everybody. Annie here. Somebody asked me, what was the biggest lie my mother ever told? Hang on to your hat. When my mother became pregnant with me, she went to my grandmother and told her it was my grandfather's because she hated my grandfather and she wanted him out of the house. And she thought that would be the way to do it, to get him out of the house. She never told my grandmother the difference. My grandmother from that day on hated my grandfather, but they still lived together because of financial reasons. And back then, you just didn't get a divorce. And it ruined their marriage. And when I turned 15, I think, I don't know why, but my grandmother felt she needed to tell me that I was a product of incest, which devastated me. And I felt like I was a freak. And even before I married my husband, I told him that, there could be some abnormal children involved because of the DNA issues. And it wasn't until I was in my 30s that my mother confessed that it was all a lie. She just hated my grandfather and didn't want him in the house anymore because he was a drinker and he was drunk a lot, and she did not like him, and he did not always give her her way. So she ruined my grandmother's marriage. And she didn't realize that my grandmother had told me this. And that's when she confessed to my grandmother and my sister, never to me, that it was all a lie. It was all a lie. And for 15, maybe 20 years, I felt like I was an anomaly, that there was something wrong with me. But that's the biggest lie my mother ever told.
Wow. Crazy. Okay, let's see what's next.
What was the biggest lie that your mother told you as a child?
I have two major lies that my mother used to tell us when we were children. I know actually one of them is more recently, but the one when we were kids is she used to tell us that she was a good mom. And what kind of mom needs to tell her children that they're
That's so true.
good mom unless they're a narcissist? So, yeah, there's that one. And we know that's not true now. And as an adult, this one was very recent, actually. My mom has decided that she does not remember or doesn't want to remember our childhood abuse.
That's always the gaslighting. Oh, I don't remember doing that. Really, bitch? How convenient that you don't remember all the bad things.
Abuse that she put us in. And after many, many years of telling her, she's decided those conversations never happened.
We are like 99% sure my sister murdered her mother-in-law and made it look like a self-delusion. Holy shit.
So I'm hoping that one day when she passes and sheds that cloak of ego and narcissism, that we can actually have a healthy, decent conversation about what life was like with her.
Okay, let's see what's next.
What was the biggest lie that your mother told you as a child?
I was in my 20s. My fiance wanted to postpone our wedding. It absolutely put me into a tailspin, and I was given anxiety medication at the hospital because I had a complete emotional breakdown, and I had to be transferred to a higher level of care because they couldn't take care of me in the facility that I was at. And so my fiance called my mom and asked her to please come and see if she could help get me out sooner. When I got there, my mom told my fiance to go to his motorcycle race and that she would see him on Monday. I got out of the hospital and my mom told me that he did not want me, he did not want to get married, that he absolutely still wanted to keep the wedding called off, and took away my phone and moved me back to Montana. When he came home, I was gone, and I never knew until, actually, it's been 13 years and I found out last year.
Oh my gosh. Holy shit. There's nobody that lies better than a woman. Okay, let's see what's next.
You grew up.
Okay.
More conservative, and obviously masturbation wasn't something you...
Yeah, I was blamed for it. I remembered my mom planted a seed for me when I got my first period. I got home. I said, Mom, I think I had a miscarriage.
Were we like 12?
Yeah, because when I was 12, I watched all the Chinese soap operas of the king and the 20 concubines trying to get pregnant, and then somebody get poisoned, and then they bleed. I said, I think
Were you
someone
having
poisoned me.
sex?
I wasn't having sex. I didn't know.
It's just so funny.
I said, Mom, I think Buddha put a seed on me. So like a Virgin Mary, I got pregnant and then someone poisoned me. Now I lost a baby. I'm sorry, Mom.
And you weren't being funny.
I wasn't. She goes, you lost a baby? Did you... What? I said, it's the blood. She goes, oh, you had your period. I said, what is a period? She goes, that means you are a woman now. I said, does that mean that I'm a slut? She goes, did you ever have sex with him? I said, no, of course not. I can't do that. She said, nobody poisoned you. You are a woman now.
Yeah.
Look at yourself in the mirror. I said, yes. She goes, I always tell you it's not possible for you to get uglier, but there is possibilities. If you touch yourself, you will get uglier.
Yeah.
She said, everything is possible.
I didn't think you could get any uglier, but you could if you masturbate.
Oh my God. Let's see what else.
Okay, guys, let's talk about it. I feel like it's so weird. Because growing up, okay, guys, let's talk about it. I feel like it's so weird because growing up, I never realized how my mom used to just lie to me. Like, I remember, like, when I was younger and I used to get money from birthday parties or get money from my grandparents or just anything. And my mom really used to say, like, let me hold your money, let me put it up for you and keep it in savings. Now I'm 20 years old and I'm like, where the hell that money went? Like, where's my money? I could have sworn I made over at least $2,000 from all the money I made up until I was like 5. I feel like to like 12. Like, I could have made a lot of money. Like, where's my money?
Yeah, they just take it. All right, let's see.
What's the biggest lie that your parents ever told you?
I win this one. So when I was younger, like elementary school, I would always have this fight every day with this kid, and he would argue that I was Hispanic. And I was getting so mad because I was like, my family is Italian and Polish. That's where I like get tanner skin. And he was like, I don't believe you. You're Hispanic. And I fought this kid for probably 4 years. I'm 22 now. 1 year ago, I was 21 years old. I get a DM from this random girl. And she's like, your father is not your father. Your sister is not your sister. Your dad is blah, blah, blah. Your mom met him when she was living in blah, blah, blah. And it was like general information. So I was like, this is like a trafficking scam. Like, they happen sometimes. And I was like, whatever, not falling for it. So I told my dad about it. And my family drove up to my college town the next day. Turns out I am Hispanic. For 21 years, they lied about my biological father.
Wow. Holy crap. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see this one.
She'd win the
Okay.
Oscar and remembers exactly how her mother reacted.
Academy
When I won the Oscar for Misery, she said, I don't know what all the excitement about. You didn't discover the cure for cancer. I forgot to thank her that night.
You know, you did thank her. At the end of your speech, you thanked her.
No, I did not. I did not. You go back and look at it. I didn't.
We did go back and look. And we showed
thank
her.
my family, my friends, my mom at home, and my dad, who I hope is watching somewhere.
What do you think of them?
Thank you. Why did I think I didn't thank her? Oh, what a relief.
Why does that mean so much to you?
Because she should have had my life. When she died, I said, come into me.
She'd win the Oscar. And remember,